Confidence does not mean you're not going to get scared. You're actually going to be scared. But the real confidence is you not allowing that fear to stop you. You still going ahead to do that particular thing you're supposed to do, despite being afraid. So when society paints you a picture that a confident woman doesn't need to be afraid, won't need to feel that fear, that's a bloody lie. The fear is always going to be there. But when you show up, regardless of the fear, that is the real confidence. Confidence is not loudness. You don't need to raise your voice to prove your worth. Confidence doesn't mean pretending that you have everything figured out. Confidence is actually those times that you get to admit that you don't have everything figured out, but you're still working on it. That is what real confidence is. Confidence is not about your physical appearance or your look. I'm not trying to trivialize physical appearance. Honestly, physical appearance plays a major role in enhancing the way you feel. But confidence is those times where you still carry yourself, even when you're not wearing the most expensive thing. Confidence is those times you still dare to show up, even when you don't have the perfect body figure. The times where all your friends, every woman around you has all the perfect body shape, all the perfect looks, yet you manage to show up in yourself, in your body, without any atom of shame. That is the real confidence there, girl. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Confidence isn't walking into the room and making everybody in the room to actually turn around and begin to stare and look in your way. That is what the society have told us that confidence really is. But that's not what confidence is actually. Sometimes the most confident women in the rooms are the ones who are not even talking, who are not even making noise, who are not even darting their eyes around the whole place. Now picture this. There are times you walk into a particular room or into an organization or a meeting and you see somebody that have been sitting very quietly since you got into that place. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you just see them standing up to say something that actually makes sense. You see them speaking boldly, fluently, and like someone who is highly educated. That is the real confidence. And at that point, you are like, oh, but she doesn't really look like it. I mean, yes, they didn't look like it when you saw them in the first place when you came into that room. That is the actual confidence. That's confidence right there. You don't need to be lousy when you get into a room. Your presence doesn't need to be so intimidating. People don't need to notice and start darting their eye all around. Oh, who is that walking in there? Maybe because of your footstep or something like that. Yes, honestly, your posture, your composure when you're walking into a room matters actually. But that alone is not confidence. Confidence also entails your ability to sit still and just observe. The ability to be comfortable in not talking when everybody else is talking. Your ability to be comfortable in just talking when it's the right time to talk. That also is confidence. And no, confidence isn't being fearless. As a matter of fact, even the most confident women in the world get scared. Like they have the fear. The only difference is that they don't let the fear to stop them from doing what they actually want to do. So the problem is that society have lied to us. They make us believe that being a confident woman, you don't need to have any iota of fear in you. But that's a lie. That is a very big lie. Every time you're going to be doing something new, anytime you're going to just be doing something that you are new to, the fear will always be there. But confidence is in those times where you feel the fear, you admit that yes, I am scared, but I'm still going to do this regardless. Those times you show up despite being afraid that you will fail, that you will not get it right, but somehow you just choose to show up regardless. That is the real confidence. Confidence does not mean you're not going to get scared. You're actually going to be scared. But the real confidence is you not allowing that fear to stop you. You still going ahead to do that particular thing you're supposed to do despite being afraid. So when society paints you a picture that a confident woman doesn't need to be afraid, won't need to feel that fear, that's a bloody lie. The fear is always going to be there. But when you show up, regardless of the fear, that is the real confidence. Confidence doesn't mean oversharing to feel validated. Sometimes silence is your strongest language. Confidence is in those times where you actually know what you're supposed to say, but you still decide to keep quiet. Even when others are feeling the need to, brag about their achievements, brag about the things they have been able to do in the past, talk about all the beautiful things they have for themselves, but you still decide to keep quiet. Not because you are scared of talking or speaking out, but because you know that whether or not you share that information with anybody, it doesn't reduce your worth. It doesn't take away anything from you. That is the real confidence. And no, confidence is not arrogance. Confidence is not disrespecting people, shouting everywhere, and making everybody to just see that you were there. Confidence is not perfection. Yes. The society has painted us a picture that makes us believe that for you to be a confident woman, you need to be perfect career-wise, financially, maritally, and otherwise. That is not confidence. Confidence is those times where you get to admit that you are still figuring things out. When you know that, oh, this is my weakness, but regardless, you own up to that weakness without feeling ashamed because you understand that you are human. And one beautiful thing about owning up to your flaws is that nobody can use it against you. So confidence is not about being perfect. Confidence is not about having life that is smooth without troubles, that having a perfect body and all of that. No. Confidence is those times when you know that yes, you don't have everything, but you still admit that you don't have everything. You still admit that these are your areas of weaknesses. That is the real confidence. Confidence is those times you say no without feeling guilt, without feeling the need to ever explain anything to anybody. Confidence is those times you walk away from things that no longer aligns with you. The times you walk away from friends that no longer benefits you. Your mind is telling you, can you do this? But you still did it regardless because you think or because you know that this particular thing, this particular friends no longer serves you. That is the real confidence, seated, rooted confidence, seated right inside of you. Confidence is those times you were able to handle whatsoever shit that life threw at you without breaking. Confidence are those days when you don't feel like doing anything, when you don't feel like showing up, but regardless, somehow you still showed up. Confidence is those times when there was nobody clapping for you, but you keep showing up, whether in your business, whether in your career, or whatsoever thing it is. You showed up even when no one was clapping. You showed up even when everybody was trying to make you feel ashamed of what you were doing. There was a time you can't drop comments on social media because you are afraid that if you share your opinion in that comment section, people are going to come and attack you. People are going to come there and begin to banter you. But right now, confidence is those times you've been able to learn how to drop those comments. You don't care. When you're typing it and your mind says people are going to attack you, you still drop it regardless and say, let what we be. You are no longer afraid of expressing your own opinion, of expressing yourself, of saying your mind about things. That is real confidence. Confidence is those times you stand your ground about what you believe in, about who you are, even when you feel the pressure to fit in, even when every of your peers is doing something that you just think does not align with your value, and they're trying to compare you to do it. That moment where you say to yourself, no, I am not going to do this, and you stood your ground. That is the real confidence right there. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. The society paints a different picture of what confidence should be like. But in an actual sense, confidence is those times you show up for yourself, you admit your flaws, you know that you were afraid, but you still did it. Those times you own your stories and your scars, even when people are trying to shame you about it. That is the real confidence. If you've been living a very authentic life, despite the pressure to fake it until you make it, my darling, you're very confident. If you ever showed up when you were afraid, you're a confident person. You ever walked into a room where you're supposed to be afraid or shrink yourself, but somehow you just find yourself standing your ground and just being your authentic self without fidgeting. You're a confident person. Don't let the world's description of what a confident woman should be make you feel like you're less of a confident woman. While you're still working on other aspects of being confident, if you ever do any of the things I've mentioned, then it is a proof that you're doing well already and you're a very confident woman. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and comment so that other persons out there who might just need this video will be able to see it. Thank you so much for watching my video. See you next time.